Yo, I just finished training my Phantom to 250, and in this video I'm going to let you know how it went, my gear, stats, nodes, where I trained, and my thoughts on the class, as well as anything else I think you should know about Phantom. I want to give a disclaimer that I'm not an expert on the class, and I'm mostly just sharing with you what I learned from leveling it. So let's start off with my Legion. And here you can see 8,730, so getting up there, closing in slowly but surely on 9k. I actually had this character at 249 for a while, and then I ate a 250 potion to finish it, so my Beast Tamer has kind of snuck up and is almost nearing 250 itself, so hopefully that video will be out soonish after this one. This is my training Legion that I'm in right now, and this would be my bossing Legion from main Kaiser. They do both have an overlapping piece, please ignore that. But let's get into my stats. These are my hyper stats. I went mainly into the XP, some arcane force, and just training damage things. About 18k stat, almost 19k. With Maple Warrior, goes up to 19.5. 20 Meso inner, because I like to make Meso while I train. This character has pretty high star force for one of the characters for a character that I normally train, and you'll see that when I go over my gear. But I will show you. I took the Meso off this character. I normally like to keep it on so you can see all the Meso I earned on this character, but there's an event and I needed it, so I took it off. But I did farm 27 bill over the course of this character's lifespan, which is not a lot. I used a lot of potions on this guy, which kind of gives you a hint into how I feel about him. But yeah, 404 node stones, and 61 droplets, 41 green, 20 purple. So I did do some training past Morass, which you'll see when I talk about my maps. So let's go to my nodes. Now the best, I'm going to focus first on boost nodes. I made a bunch of boost nodes. These are like, if you're a Phantom main, you probably want all these skills boosted. I'm not a Phantom main. I really shouldn't have done this. And also my boost nodes are not even perfect because I don't have Rose Cart Finale at level 60. But the main things that you want to focus on if you're just playing the class for mobbing, the main 3 mobbing skills I would say are Impeccable Memory 2, Carte Blanche, and Impeccable Memory 4. Those are definitely the 3 most important boost nodes. Penumbra's good for some training, and then these are kind of the bossing nodes, although Rose Cart also helps with mobbing, so that would be a good one to boost as well if you can for mobbing. But yeah, so way too many boost nodes I use on this thing. I don't know why. I'm running out of boost nodes, so I can't be running such a heavy deficit like I am with characters like this. So that's something I need to fix in the future. I still have like thousands of node stones, but every time I make a character, I use more than I gain with them, right? So I'll look into that. As for skill nodes, obviously you want HS maxed. Other skill nodes, you can kind of leave them all at low levels. They don't really matter too much, except Ace in the Hole. This skill requires quite a bit of damage to like one-shot, so leveling this would be pretty beneficial. I would recommend it. This is a bossing skill. It's a really strong burst skill, so level that if you're bossing. This one, it can also use for bossing. For mobbing, you kind of just use it once. It one-shots pretty easily. You shouldn't need to level this too high, and same with this one. And I also didn't even use this Phantom's Mark skill until I was about 240, is when I found out, or I figured out I could fit a node slot in for it. But yeah, I also really like rope lift on this class because they don't have an up jump as of making this video. But with Destiny, I think all the classes will get an up jump, so I still like rope lift though, even for classes that do have up jump. So yeah, I will show you my equips now. No totems, just got some Meso, and if I could get it, some luck. Some of these have it, some of these don't. Now what you'll notice about a lot of the gear on this character as we start to go down is that a lot of it is 17 stars. So we have 17, 17, 15 because it can't go higher. I think this item, this is Yeah, this is 11. So this is one of the few items that can go to 17 that isn't 17. It might actually be the only item. Well, aside from my pencilier glove. But let's just keep going. Just notice that I did go pretty hard starring this, and I didn't really need to, but I feel like that's a common theme with these videos. I got this, some 3-line. I did hit, overall with the accessories, I have 100 meso and 40 drop. I would have liked 60 drop, but I was training most of the time with familiars out, so I didn't really need it. These are just some 2-line potentials, mostly on my gear. I did get a couple abso drops while I was running. God, the flames on these are really bad too. And yeah, some of them are just 16 star because I figured I didn't want to spend any more money. Oops, I accidentally clicked that one. Wow, this is... My weapon secondary emblem are not very pretty. But I mean, yeah. The stars on this class more than made up for that. This class, it's not super easy to one-shot, especially I was training in some the more difficult areas, so that's kind of why I went for that extra damage on my gear. Before I talk about training, let me talk about the loadout for Phantom. So this is the skills that you steal. You don't need this Cardinal Deluge skill. You do need Cardinal Burst. So just for training, Cardinal Burst, Cross Surge is really good to help with damage. If you don't need it, you could use this, but I really needed it. Final Cut also to help with damage. If you don't need it, you can use Frozen Orb. So for the early levels, I use Frozen Orb. So that's what I'm going to slot in right there. The Hyper Skill, you can use the Fire Poison one, but none of these are very good for mobbing. So honestly, you could just ignore this for mobbing. But these 3 skills in the 4th job slot are all important for some of the mobbing rotations I'm going to be doing. So I need all these. I basically only used this. I never used Arrow Blaster. You also need Impeccable Memory 3 if you want to use this skill. I never did. I just used Cross Surge and yeah. So we're going to start off with Cardinal Burst and Frozen Orb being our 2 mobbing skills. And just a couple of things to take into account and consider while you're training Phantom. If you're going to be training with Final Cut, because usually you only train with this if you need that extra damage, because otherwise you just use Frozen Orb. But if you are going to be training with Final Cut, make sure you have some buff duration, or you use the Relentless Attack special node, which is a purple node. I don't have it, but it's one of these purple nodes, and that will basically reduce the cooldown while you train of skills. So make sure you have either, again, some kind of buff duration or the Relentless Attack node so you can upkeep Final Cut 100% of the time. Because if you need Final Cut to one-shot, it's going to feel really shitty when, like, the small downtime that Final Cut has, you're not one-shotting for that period. So, yeah, if you're going to train with Final Cut, keep that in mind. If you're going to be training with Cardinal Burst, which I definitely also have for some of the rotations, put it in a macro. Just an empty macro by itself. I think, you can see I have that here and here. I think that's because it helps with the like end lag of it or something. It's something like that. I don't really know too well, but people told me to do it, so I did it. And I think it felt better than having it not in a macro by itself. Maybe that's just superstition, but I think it's real and it doesn't hurt to do, so you might as well do it. And I honestly, I'm not entirely sure where I went for 200 and 205. I might have just potioned it up or something, but I was looking around a little bit for this video, and I mean, below the cave is fine. Just flash jumping through with Cardinal Deluge using, oh, where is, oh, it's on V. There we go. Just using Frozen Orb to double plat that last platform is fine when you get to the end. This is fine. Again, these levels go by so fast, it doesn't really matter. And then Reverse City is where Phantom has pretty cool rotation. And Phantom's 5th jobs, they don't really help out too much with the training, honestly. I mean, they help a little bit, but not much. Let me just grab this rune. So, Ace in the Hole, this is like the main one that you want to kind of throw out. And then for this map, at T-Boy's Research Train 1, and I just kind of went back and forth with the Penumbras. I'm probably butchering that name, but it is what it is. You'll also notice for this video I don't have a totem equipped. That's going to be the norm going forward because of the Kishin removal. I can't train with Kishin anymore, so I need to be a lot more conservative with my totems. So I just can't pop them for videos like this, unfortunately. But yeah, getting just going like this back and forth, and this is just a super easy way to train. I believe if you go here and pop, oh whoops, I popped on the wrong plat. But if you go up here and pop that card finale, you can get some summons on here of these cards to pop this. I didn't really use Frozen Orb too much on this map because Penumbra basically just clears the full thing, except for that little spot up there where maybe you can break it with a Rift Break, or just jump up there and use Cardinal Deluge or something like that. So yeah, this map, very easy, very cool. Then when you get to Choo Choo, I believe I went to Biddy Bobble 1. There are probably some better maps, honestly. I would look into the Torrent Zones, but I just don't like training in the Torrent Zones at all. So going here and just using Frozen Orb and bouncing around with the Pathfinder skill. This is honestly not a great map, but it is where I trained. And yeah, again, I would highly recommend. Honestly, if I was going to play this class again, my training philosophy has kind of shifted towards higher burning, less popular maps. And yeah, again, if I were going to train this class again, I would probably go to one of the Torrent Zones, probably one of the later ones. But yeah, this is where I trained here. Again, not really too much use for Frozen Orb in this map. Throw out Ace in the Hole whenever you can, because it covers pretty decently here. And let me mine this, and we'll move on to the next map in Yum Yum. Any purple sauce? Nope. Oh, nope. Alright. I went to Hidden Iliad. This map is really good with Frozen Orb. Like, Frozen Orb is just great on this map because it covers so much. Throw your Ace in the Hole whenever you want. Throw out your Frozen Orb. And again, you can just totally clear this map on respawn with just these skills. Even with the totem boost, which again, it does feel kind of empty without. But we don't have totems anymore in Reboot, so you gotta make do. But yeah, this map, basically just Frozen Orb, and spam Cardinal Deluge. And Frozen Orb is great here, because it triple plats. And Cardinal Deluge also triple plats if you use it while you're grounded, so there's definitely that. Latch, I went to, oh yeah, Yum Yum I would also consider this map, Hidden Fungos. It has way better burning than this map. And you can still rotate it like decently. This is basically just a jump around map. Kind of the reason I don't like Phantom is when you're mobbing with this, you're just like a worse Pathfinder, and you just jump around. It's pretty annoying. So yeah, we will continue on to Latch, where I went to Rev 3. This is just a really easy map. Really easy jump around and attack map. You just go back and forth, jumping around and attacking, believe it or not. You can put your Frozen Orb on either side. You could do there at triple plats. You can also, I believe, do here. It has pretty good coverage, although it doesn't reach all the way to the corner. So just rotating back and forth, Frozen Orbing when you can, is pretty good. We will move on to Arcana, where I went to Earth Spirits. This map, you could Frozen Orb here. It's not super useful. Rely on your Ace in the Hole to cover that very top platform that's hard to hit for a lot of classes. Frozen Orb, yeah, you can kind of use it. You don't have to. It's starting to get less good. And you can just jump back and forth in here all day. Now, I'm going to move on to LP2, which is where I thought my Phantom would be retiring, would be finishing up. And I use Cannon Bazooka in this map. Now, and you can also switch, since you're not using, where is it, my loadout? Since you're not using Cardinal Burst, you could switch this to Rage or something to give yourself some extra attack. But this skill one-shots very easily anyways, so you don't need to worry about it. But yeah, basically, oh, wrong button. Let me just swap these around. Basically, I gotta wait for the cooldown of it to come up, because whenever you swap your skills, you have a little cooldown you have to wait. So yeah, just drop down farming in this map. You'll notice that the mobs in the middle don't really get hit. That's just kind of how it goes. They'll eventually walk over, but yeah, this map is not great rates, honestly. Like, it's good for a while, but you, especially like the closer you get to 240, you really start to feel how bad this map is. You could train here until 250. I would highly recommend against it. I really thought, like, oh, it's so lazy, I won't even notice I'm training, but it's just awful. This is a good time to talk about the loot timer that I used. I used Heroic Memories, since this class doesn't actually have a 1/22 loot timer. I would just use Heroic Memories, and whenever that came off cooldown, I would loot, and I would go in the middle here, press this, maybe press this, and then just go through and loot, and start dropping down again, just like that. But this is not, I decided, what I wanted to do with the rest of my Phantom's career to 250. I was sick and tired of doing that rotation, so I went back to the Cardinal Deluge rotation, and I went to Star Swallowing C2. This map has really high burning. It was awesome. It was really good XP. I would just jump around in a circle, kind of like this. I wasn't hitting every mob, but I was hitting enough. And using just my 5th job skills where I can, like Rift Break. Oh, and I also used Final Cut in this map to help maintain one-shot. You could use Frozen Orb in this map. Again, just find a place to put it. I had to use Final Cut here. This is also where I slotted in Phantom's Mark. I just used that when it was up. I generally used it when I was right, let me show you, like here. And sometimes it would take me up to this platform in the middle, which helped save some time, but this skill is really wonky. It doesn't really take you where you want to go, at least in my experience from what I found. I was not a huge fan of it. But yeah, this is where I train until 250. And yeah, that's all the training spots that I used. So just talking overall about Phantom, I didn't enjoy this class. It took me a while to finish. I was not a fan. It was a slog, it was hard, it was annoying, it was boring. It felt terrible to train. You're literally just a second job Pathfinder using this Cardinal Burst skill. I keep saying Cardinal Deluge the whole video, but it's Cardinal Burst. Using this skill, you just, oh god, it is absolutely terrible. Because Pathfinder has this skill, but it's actually bigger because Pathfinder has passives that increase its size. Phantom doesn't have those, so you get this little dinky, tiny explosion that's really hard to hit mobs with. And it's like pretty much your best option because Phantom doesn't have any 4th job skills that are actual good at mobbing, except for like Penumbra in that one map. Maybe you could find another map, I don't know. This class was terrible to train. I absolutely hated it. As for bossing though, the reason it's I think this class is better than it is for training. Do I think it's great for bossing? No, not really. It's just kind of not my style. Like it's okay. It's decently satisfying. It has some good burst with luck of the draw. It has pretty cool animations. It has a lot of like utility and iframes. I think Phantom's Mark is an iframe that you can use pretty often, as well as, I mean, you steal Final Cut, and you have Freud's. It's a very, like, it's an okay class for bossing. It has pretty good burst. It's just not really my thing in terms of the bossing. Like, Phantom is also very adaptable for the bossing. Like, since they have this loadout, you can steal skills like Heal. You can steal. Dark Side is also really good in bossing. You can steal skills like Showdown, which helps in Saren, but you do have to give up Final Cut to do that, which definitely sucks. I mean, you can swap them in and out, but like swapping your skills around like that during a boss is another one of the reasons that I am not a fan of Phantom. Having Sacro is also cool, although these skills do have increased cooldowns, which I mean, so Sacro has like a really long cooldown, because it already has a really long cooldown, but then since you're playing Phantom and you stole it, it gets even longer. But anyways, taking all that into consideration, plugging Phantom into my personal enjoyment-based 250 tier list, I would have to put them in the C tier, right above Hayato. Not because their mobbing is better than Hayato, their mobbing is terrible. But I just, their bossing and like overall they just feel better than Hayato to me. So yeah, that was my experience with Phantom. I didn't enjoy it too much, but it's over, and we got the extra 1% Meso from leveling Phantom to 250, so woohoo for that. Slowly closing in on the 9k Legion, which is cool. Beast Tamer's next, which I kind of showed at the start of the video, so definitely excited for that. I've been liking Beast Tamer so far. You can come check out that on my stream if you want, which is linked in the description. Otherwise, I think that is all I have to say today, and I will see you next time for Beast Tamer. Peace.